Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Random Video Thursday. How is everybody on this last week of April? And today I have a pretty interesting video I want to share with you today. A lot of you might find this pretty interesting, but I find this an interesting subject as well. Now, as you all know, I love presidential trivia. Back in September I did a video on each president's favorite food. Seems a lot of you have enjoyed that one. So here, I decided to dive into another interesting subject, and that is how many children each president had. This is all 46 presidents from Washington all the way to Biden. So let's get started. First off, this is going to be done as quickly as possible. I'm not going to name every single child that the president had, but this is pretty interesting. Some of the presidents just had one child, some had a couple, some had a lot. There were some that didn't have any, and there's also going to be some interesting facts along the way. And you won't believe some of these. But anyway, let's get started. Excuse me. Beginning with George Washington, he had two children, John and Patsy, and I believe both of them were adopted, or one of them was adopted, I think. John Adams had 6 children, and fun fact, one of them was John Quincy, who would become America's 6th president. Thomas Jefferson also had 6 children, but sadly his wife Martha died before almost 20 years before he became president. James Madison did not have any children. Yeah, that might be hard to believe, but it's true. Some couples just don't have children, even those who were married for a long time. James and Dolly were married for over 40 years, but for some reason they did not have any children. James Monroe, 3 children. John Quincy Adams, 4 children. And fun fact, Quincy Adams, his wife, Louisa, was British, first foreign First Lady. Andrew Jackson, 3 children. Martin Van Buren, 5 children. William Henry Harrison, 10 children. This is pretty interesting. Yes, 10 children. And they didn't get to see the White House for that long because he was only in office for a month. That's true. William Henry Harrison, as you know, was the first president to die in office. He was only in office for 1 month, and he died of pneumonia. John Tyler, and you're not going to believe this. Tyler had 15 children. 8 with his first wife, Letitia, and an additional 7 with his second wife, Julia. That's true. 15 children. The most of any president. James K. Polk did not have any children, and it's said that the reason why he did not have any children with his wife Sarah is because Polk's reproductive system was messed up due to the fact that he had a gallstone operation when he was 17 without anesthesia. They didn't have anesthesia back then. Zachary Taylor, 6 children. Millard Fillmore had 2 children, Millard Jr. and Mary. Franklin Pierce, he had 3 children. Franklin Jr., Frank, and Benjamin. And sadly, all 3 died young and before he became president, which contributed to his depression and also drinking problem, and faced even more depression with the illness and eventual death of his wife, Jane. James Buchanan did not have any children, nor did he have any wives. James Buchanan was never married, the only president who was a bachelor. Abraham Lincoln had 4 children. 2 died young, and 2 lived to adulthood. His oldest child, Robert, living the longest. Andrew Johnson, 5 children. Ulysses S. Grant had 4 children, and one of them, Jesse, was named after his father. Rutherford B. Hayes had 8 children, which is also a lot. Garfield, 7 children. Arthur, he had 3 children. Grover Cleveland, 5 children. And Benjamin Harrison, he had 3 children. Grover Cleveland, 5 children. And interestingly enough, his oldest child, Ruth, was the namesake of the Baby Ruth candy bar. And people get that wrong all the time. A lot of people think that it's that the baseball player, Babe Ruth, was the namesake, but it was actually Babe Ruth Cleveland, the daughter of Grover Cleveland. McKinley, he had 2 children. Sadly, both died young. Teddy Roosevelt, 6 children. And then William Howard Taft, 3 children. Woodrow Wilson, also 3 children. Warren G. Harding had 1 child, and that was a daughter, Elizabeth. Coolidge had 2 children, John and Calvin Jr. Calvin Jr. died young, but John, fortunately, had a much longer life, and even lived to 93. Herbert Hoover, 2 children. FDR, 6 children. Truman had 1 child, a daughter, Margaret. And then Eisenhower, he had 2 children, Dowd and John. Kennedy had 4 children. And as you might know, one of his children was John F. Kennedy Jr., who later died in a plane crash in 1999. LBJ, 2 children, Linda and Lucy. Nixon also had 2 children, Tricia and Julie. Gerald Ford, he had 4 children, Michael, Jack, Stephen, and Susan. All 4 are still alive and very well. Carter had 4 children, including the youngest one, Amy. Reagan, 5 children. George H.W. Bush, he had 6 children. And the oldest of his 6 children, George W. Bush, would become America's 43rd president. Bill Clinton, he has 1 child, a daughter, Chelsea. W. Bush, he has 2 children. And fun fact, W. Bush, became the first president to have twins. His daughters are identical twins, Jenna and Barbara. Obama, America's first African-American president, he has 2 children, Malia and Sasha. Trump, he has 5 children. He's been married 3 times, and now he's married to Melania. And finally, Biden. Biden had 4 children, or he has had 4 children. Sadly, 2 have died, and 2 are still living. And one of his children died young, along with his first wife, in a car accident. And his wife, or his son, Beau, died back in 2015. But his other 2 children are alive and well. And of course, he's our current president, you know that. But also, we'll leave off with one final fact. Biden is actually only America's second Catholic president. The first was Kennedy. And now we have another Catholic president. Interesting fact to share. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed that video. And hope you're enjoying these great YouTube videos. I'm going to keep them coming. In fact, next Thursday is actually going to be another movie review. It's going to be Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, which turns 20 next week. But until then, hope everything is going well. Hope everybody's having a good spring. And I'll see you next time. Hope you all enjoy the end of April, and hope you're looking forward to the beginning of May. And as always, please remember to subscribe to this channel, comment down below, share the video, like the video, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.